Every human on Earth shares one secret behavior. Rich or poor, ancient or modern, civilized or wild. And psychologists discovered that the way you behave in the bathroom may reveal more about your personality than your own words ever could. Your fears, your anxiety, your childhood conditioning, even your hidden need for control. But how? Most people think bathroom habits are random, tiny routines, meaningless behaviors, but they're not. Why do some people lock the door even when they're completely alone? Why do others panic if someone hears them? Why do some scroll endlessly on their phones while sitting there, even when they don't need to? Why do certain people organize toilet paper perfectly while others leave chaos behind them like a crime scene? And perhaps the strangest part, most of these behaviors begin long before adulthood, sometimes before memory itself. Psychologists, neurologists, and behavioral researchers slowly uncovered something disturbing. The bathroom is one of the only places where the human brain drops its mask. No performance, no social script, no fake smile, just you and your nervous system. Which means the smallest habits suddenly become signals, tiny clues, and once you see the pattern, you start noticing it everywhere. Because the bathroom was never just a bathroom, it became a psychological battlefield, a place where humans learned shame, privacy, control, fear, relief, punishment. And strangely enough, civilization itself helped shape these invisible rituals. Thousands of years ago, humans relieved themselves outdoors. No walls, no mirrors, no embarrassment. Ancient Romans even used massive public toilets together. Long stone benches, dozens of holes side by side, no privacy. People talked while using them, discussed politics, business deals, family problems. To them, it was normal. Now, imagine that today. Most people can barely use a public restroom if another person enters. Something changed, and that change rewired the human mind. Modern humans became deeply uncomfortable with vulnerability, especially physical vulnerability, especially exposure, especially bodily functions. And nowhere does this reveal itself more clearly than bathroom behavior. Take the sound issue. Millions of people will literally wait in pain just to avoid another person hearing them. Think about how irrational that is. The body is screaming for relief, muscles tightening, sweat building, heart rate increasing. Yet the brain says, wait. Why? Because social humiliation activates the same brain regions as physical pain. Your brain treats embarrassment almost like injury. That's why some people become completely frozen in public restrooms. You've probably felt it. You walk into a quiet restroom, someone is already inside. Suddenly, your entire body changes. You stop moving naturally. Your breathing becomes careful. Every sound feels amplified. Even opening toilet paper sounds illegal. And then comes the worst part, the waiting. Neither person wants to make the first noise, so both sit there pretending nothing is happening. Two humans trapped in psychological warfare, completely silent, waiting for the other person to surrender first. It sounds ridiculous, but this tiny moment exposes something enormous about human psychology. People fear social judgment more than physical discomfort, and modern life intensified this fear dramatically. Because humans evolved in tribes, being rejected once meant danger, isolation, death. So your nervous system became obsessed with avoiding shame. Even today, your brain still acts like embarrassment could destroy your survival, which explains another strange behavior, the home bathroom effect. Some people physically cannot use unfamiliar bathrooms, hotels, airports, friends' houses. Their bodies resist, not consciously, neurologically. The brain associates safety with familiarity, same smell, same lighting, same environment. When those conditions disappear, stress hormones rise, and stress changes digestion immediately. That's why anxiety can completely shut down the body, or do the exact opposite. Ever noticed how some people suddenly need the bathroom before flights, before exams, before dates? That's not weakness, that's ancient survival wiring. Your gut and brain are directly connected. Fear literally changes your intestines. Scientists even call the gut the second brain. It contains over 500 million neurons, meaning your emotions are constantly communicating with your body, and the bathroom becomes the final stage where stress reveals itself physically. But perhaps the most revealing habit of all is what people do while sitting there. Because the bathroom used to represent isolation, now it represents escape. Look around. Millions of people sit on toilets scrolling endlessly through videos, sometimes for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, even longer. Not because they need to, because it became one of the only socially acceptable places to disappear. Think about that. Modern humans are so overstimulated that they hide in bathrooms for psychological recovery. Parents escape children there. Workers escape stress there. Teenagers escape family tension there. The bathroom quietly became a sanctuary, a tiny locked room where nobody expects productivity. And companies accidentally discovered this too. In high-stress offices, bathroom breaks increased dramatically, not because people suddenly have weaker bladders, because humans need micro-escapes, small moments of control. Which brings us to another hidden signal: cleanliness. Some people leave bathrooms spotless, perfectly folded towels, dry sinks, toilet paper aligned precisely. Others leave total destruction behind them, water everywhere, mess everywhere, no awareness at all. This difference fascinated psychologists for decades because cleanliness is often linked to perceived control. When people feel emotionally chaotic, they sometimes become obsessively organized physically. Not always, but often. That's why stress cleaning exists. The mind tries to restore order externally when it cannot restore it internally. And nowhere is this more obvious than private bathroom rituals. Tiny systems, tiny routines, tiny repetitive behaviors that calm the nervous system. Certain people always shower in the same order: hair first, then body, then face. Others panic if their products move location. Some need extremely hot water. Others hate mirrors after showers. These rituals seem meaningless until you realize the brain loves predictable environments, especially under stress. Predictability creates safety, which explains why bathroom routines became deeply emotional for many during childhood. Because childhood is where most bathroom psychology begins. Potty training sounds harmless, but historically it was often intense. Punishment, shame, embarrassment, parents yelling, forcing schedules, using humiliation as control. And children absorb all of it. Some develop anxiety around bodily functions. Others develop extreme control behaviors. Psychologists noticed something fascinating. Adults who grew up in highly controlling environments sometimes develop unusually rigid bathroom habits later in life: long showers, strict organization, needing total privacy. Not because they're weird, because the bathroom became psychologically linked to autonomy, a private zone where nobody controls them. And once you notice this pattern, modern behavior suddenly makes more sense. Why people bring phones there, why people lock the door automatically, why some panic in public restrooms, why others hide there during emotional stress. It's all connected. But there's an even stranger layer most people never think about: sound masking, fans, running sinks, music. Humans constantly create artificial noise in bathrooms. Why? Because silence increases vulnerability. A silent bathroom forces awareness. Every movement feels exposed. So humans invented acoustic camouflage. Even ancient cultures understood this instinctively. Japanese bathrooms eventually evolved entire systems around sound privacy. Some modern toilets even include artificial flushing noises specifically to reduce embarrassment. Imagine how powerful human shame must be for engineers to invent machines that fake toilet sounds. And yet, millions use them, gladly, because embarrassment is one of the strongest emotional regulators in human society. It controls behavior silently. Now compare this to ancient Rome again. Public toilets, open conversation, no barriers. Modern humans would consider that horrifying. Which proves something important. Bathroom psychology is not fixed. Culture shapes it completely. In some societies, communal bathing remained normal for centuries. In others, nudity became deeply taboo. Some cultures emphasize cleanliness spiritually, others practically. But every system slowly trains the nervous system differently. And today, social media intensified everything even more. Modern humans are hyper-aware of judgment constantly. Appearance, smell, hygiene, skin, hair, which transformed bathrooms into miniature self-surveillance chambers. Mirrors everywhere, bright lights, constant self-checking. People stare at themselves daily under artificial lighting while mentally criticizing tiny flaws nobody else notices. And over time, the bathroom becomes associated not only with relief, but self-evaluation. That's why certain people avoid mirrors when emotionally exhausted. Their nervous system literally cannot handle more self-analysis. Meanwhile, others become trapped in repetitive checking, hair, face, teeth, skin, again and again, not vanity, often anxiety. And then there's the darkest behavior of all, people crying in bathrooms. Think about how universal that is. Schools, airports, restaurants, hospitals, offices. Humans instinctively choose bathrooms for emotional breakdowns. Why? Because psychologically, bathrooms represent temporary invisibility, a place where vulnerability becomes acceptable. People won't question why you disappeared there. So the bathroom becomes an emotional emergency shelter, a hidden psychological bunker. And suddenly, the entire mystery becomes clearer. Bathroom habits were never random. They are reflections of stress, control, shame, safety, privacy, autonomy, tiny rituals exposing massive psychological systems underneath. The person taking 40-minute showers, the person terrified of public bathrooms, the person obsessively cleaning sinks, the person scrolling endlessly on the toilet, these aren't isolated quirks. They're signals, clues about how each nervous system learned to survive the world. And maybe the strangest part is this: most people never consciously notice any of it. They think they're simply doing normal things, but psychology reveals the hidden architecture underneath, a silent system shaping behavior every single day. Even now, after hearing all this, you'll probably notice your own routines differently tonight. The order you shower, the way you lock the door, the amount of silence you tolerate, the reason you reach for your phone. And once you notice it, you can't really unsee it, because the bathroom isn't just where humans clean themselves, it's where the modern nervous system quietly reveals itself. So next time you enter a bathroom, ask yourself something strange. Which of your habits are actually yours, and which ones were programmed into you long ago? And more importantly, what other everyday behaviors are secretly revealing your psychology without you realizing it?